And that fly was very funny.
Yeah,
The
that was
fly.
hysterical. Just
I
seeing the
saw,
memes. Oh,
yes, yes, where the people
oh
had the
my God.
microphones on the flies, and he was like,
Mhm.
"I'll do it again."
How you feeling?
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm
Look, oh,
feeling
they're there.
okay.
Everybody's coming
I
in. Yay.
am absolutely okay. Like that is where I am.
Mm.
Like I told you the other day, I feel like every day I'm having to go through something that's like, and now another thing. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, as I do my spiritual work, I'm like, it's really a lot harder to live this way whenever things are coming at you because like in the past I would just be like, oh well, it's such and such's fault, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to like take responsibility
Mm-hmm.
and do the things that need to be done in order to soothe whatever it is. So like I can't remember who it was, but I was like, I really sometimes I'm like, man, it was almost easier to be in the dark because you're like, well, this just sucks,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I mean, there's something to be said for it because in every experience that is like contrast for me, I'm absolutely coming out of it with some knowledge and something I can use later. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good.
This week has been a little easier, I think, for me. I felt easier about this week and the stuff that's going on. I honestly I want to thank Kamala because I think she made my week. So that just
I'm
was
speaking.
hysterical. Yes, like hello, I'm speaking. Okay, it's like, girl.
Yeah.
And that people were going to see that and people were going to be like, she's so disrespectful, he's the vice president, she's so disrespectful, she has no respect, et cetera, et cetera. But when you have males talking to each other like that, they don't question the respect, they don't question the level of respect, they just like, well, those are guys and that's the way guys like for example, last week when Joe Biden and Trump were going at it, there was no conversation around the lack of respect for Trump as the president from
Right.
about Joe Biden. But like when it comes to a woman, specifically a black woman, there's a lack of respect. You see how they are, they don't have any manners or that, whatever. Like, but I was living for it. I didn't watch the debate, but I definitely loved to, just like watch that whole thing go down and the little clips here and there. And I was just like, oh my goodness, this
Mhm.
is so juicy. This is so tasty. I almost want Kamala to be the president.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, he's running with El Sicko. I
Yeah.
mean, and I only say that because he's so old. And I'm like, I mean, like I know other presidents have been old, but like he just gives me that if he takes a wrong step vibe. You know, like
Yeah.
like it could go either way. And that fly
Mm.
was very funny.
Yeah.
The
That was
fly.
hysterical. Just
I
seeing the
saw,
memes. Oh,
yes, yes, where the people
oh
had the
my God.
microphones on the flies and he was like,
Mm.
I'll do it again.
I loved watching that. That cracked me up, I just, yeah, it's pretty entertaining to watch. At this point, it's pretty entertaining to watch until the next critical thing comes up and then we're all like, we're all freaking out again, which that plot, did you hear about that plot with the governor of Michigan, I think,
Uh,
those
oh, yeah,
13
to kidnap
guys.
her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh my God. Like this was literally the exact thing that I was talking about. And I think I mentioned it on one of my YouTube videos. And then I also brought it up in an article, and it was the article that I wrote on Medium. And it was talking about how I had that dream from last year. And I included it in that. And I said, we have to be very careful because I felt that I saw that Boogaloo fools like trying to stir things up and to make it seem like there was some
Mhm,
sort of like, and trying to pin things on one side to get people to react, and that if we
mhm.
weren't keeping our eye on the ball or we were not keeping up with stuff, then it was going to end up blowing up in our faces and we were going to fall for it. So it's one of those
Yeah.
things.
I'm just sad for the collective right now, actually, I think. Like I've been having those dreams about the stimulus check.
Mm.
Like I don't even care about it. And I
Right.
keep having dreams about like this one. I was at a desk and somebody came up behind me and was like, "See, look right here where they promised us they would give us another one." And then I woke up. I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh my God, that's the second one." The last time I was in a parking lot and they were
Mm-hmm.
like, "They're over there at that truck giving out the stimulus checks." And I was like, "Okay."
If only it were that easy, right? If only it were
I
that
know.
simple. Just run over to a truck, and pick up your check.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I saw that Pelosi, and then we're like, no, we're not going to agree to the most recent idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, but they're going to bail out
It's a mess.
they're going to bail out the airline industry, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you going to bail out these corporations just to give a few people some money through some jobs, but yet you're not going to give people who are actually at this point can't pay their rent. They're already 2 or 3 months behind. They need food. They need, some way to support themselves. It's getting a little desperate out there, and they're not doing anything about that, that's the need. That is where it should be. That's the critical. Some of these smaller businesses, who are sticking with the guidelines or who are trying to do their part to go along with whatever, safety measures they can take, but they're not doing too well either. I mean, there should be some, I honestly think the government should come up with a package for small businesses to retrofit their, because what it does is if they can retrofit their diners to make it so that people are basically not next to each other, or that they are going to have, guideline separations or whatnot. I mean, that gives the restaurant industry a little bit of a kick. That gives people who can work in the restaurants more opportunity to earn some revenue. That gives people who want to go out and spend their money on restaurants, an opportunity to spend that money to put it back into and then it also gives like contractors and these, businesses that are builders, gives them jobs too,
Yeah. I mean, they really need to let some people who are not the lawmakers make some decisions because we would just do so much of a better job.
Yeah.
It's like that once they get there, they become very disconnected to what the actual people need. Or the concern for it is minimized, because some of these decisions, I'm like, do you have any relatives? Like, why would you make that decision?
Well, I think, it gets trivial after a while, because you have to remember some of these people, although, some of these people are homegrown people, they come from, places that we grew up in and places that we can relate to. At the same time, some of these career politicians have been so removed from the average person's struggle, even though they may connect with the demographic that they support or with their communities, because they have these unique positions. They get so removed from the issues that they don't have to worry about their bills or their rent or whatever. They don't have to worry about that. And so because they get so comfortable, there isn't this pressing need to do anything to actually support the population or to support people as a whole or in general. So I think that's the problem, is like, you don't know any better. This was a lesson that I taught my sister, because back when my sister, she was going through a tough time, we grew up separately. So she was raised by an uncle and an aunt who like spoiled the hell out of her. They gave her everything that she ever wanted. And so she was very spoiled, and she grew up not needing to worry about having her own room, not needing to worry about having air conditioning, not needing to worry about, making the bills or whatever. So because she was raised that way, inevitably she didn't really understand the struggle. And whenever my aunt would talk to her about us, my mother and I, she'd kind of tell her, well, you don't want to be like those people, and they're trash. They kind of raised her that way, to think that way, because we were poor and we lived in the hood. So when my sister got older, my uncle passed away from cancer, and my aunt was kind of left to kind of take care of her. And my aunt was already in her 80s. So it was just too much for her to take care of a teenage girl that was like 12 or 13 years old. And my sister came to live with us, and we were in a 1-bedroom apartment. I slept on a mattress in the living room floor. That was my reality. And she slept in a twin bed next to my mom's bed in the bedroom. And going from her own room on the nice side of town to like 1 bedroom in the hood, hearing gunshots every night, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
That was a wake up call for her. And I was like, not everyone in the world can have all of the luxuries that you were granted. I think you were lucky to have that for as long as you did. But this is the reality for some of us. And it gave her, it was like a wake up call for her, because she realized that she really did take for granted the things that she had. And it made her want to work even harder. And I think that's why she did reach some of the levels of success that she did, because she busted her ass. She put herself through school. She put herself through college. She was always building herself in her career. And now she lives, again, back on the same side of town she used to live on, in the nice side of town, except it's by her own doing. She put herself there. But she's never lost she's never lost that connection with the people on who are in the poorer side of town. Now, granted, she lost some of the associations because she's still she's still like a diehard Republican, and she was running on the Trump train for a while, but she still knows how much hard work had to go into her getting to where she got to. So they think there's still like some sort of, she relates to that still. She understands that. She appreciates that. But that's turned her more into like, I don't believe anybody deserves a handout. No one should get a handout. I had to bust my ass for everything I had. I didn't get a handout, which, I was like, but we were your handout. Like we supported you. We gave you a place to stay. We gave you food. We were your handout. So you got to relate to that,
Yeah. And coming from rich auntie, you weren't crippled.
No.
You just got a shell shock.
Yeah.
So you guys really did a lot for her. A shell shock.
Yeah.
So
So this is the e-reading question of the week, and this week's question is by Jane, and the question is, if we all have a spirit guide, what is the best way to access knowledge or direction from the energy of this being? I spent a lot of time trying to figure out who my spirit guide was and how to communicate with him. And during my first initial years of experimentation and trying to understand my spirituality and my psychic abilities, in that period of time I was doing a lot of exploration, and I was reading a lot of different books, a lot of different material, and they all gave me very similar strategies for connecting with my spirit guide. As time has progressed, and actually at that time I did have some success with achieving a kind of communication with my guide, but as time progressed, and as I've gotten to this place here now, I've realized that communicating with the spirit guide is actually a lot easier than we give ourselves credit for. I think it's happening on a regular basis. Most of us are actually having communication with our guide almost daily, several times a day, and we don't even realize it. What happens is, the idea of a guide, first of all, because some people might be asking, what the hell is a spirit guide, right? The idea of a guide is a kind of a guiding spirit. It's a personality who is helping us go through the different stages of our life. And as we go through the different periods and the different experiences, assuming that we came here to specifically have unique experiences, and before we came here, we came up with an agenda. We put together a type of plan. And when we put that plan together, the theory is that we put that plan together with our guide. Coming down here, our guide is responsible for helping us to stay on course, stay on track, and keep us going in the direction of achieving these benchmark experiences that we're meant to have. Now, not all of our lifetime is planned. There is plenty of room for, improvisation. We can do a lot of things by choice, but there are specific experiences that we did decide to come here and have, both positive and negative. A lot of people think, why doesn't my spirit guide protect me? Why doesn't my spirit guide keep me from having, making mistakes? Or that's not their job. Their job is not to protect us or to keep us from going through painful experiences. Now, if we're going to go through something that is definitely not in alignment with what we chose to be here to go through, then there are special circumstances where they're allowed to interfere and step in to prevent something disastrous from happening. But for the most part, things are going to happen in life regardless, and we have to work through that. We have to do our very best to work through those different experiences, and our guide is going to help us try to get through those experiences as best as they can, based off of our own soul's needs and what we decide to do. So their job is not to keep us from experiencing life. Their job is to help us maximize the experiences we have in life. So if you want to communicate with your guide, know that you are already communicating with your guide every single day, various times a day. You're having these thoughts in your head, you're having emotions, you're having things pop into your mind, and sometimes you may even say you hear an inner voice like, something told me to do this, or something told me to do that. That inner voice of conscious, that inner voice of guidance is your guide, and they've never not been in communication with you. They've been communicating with you since the beginning of your birth. So you've never gone without your guide. Now, if you want to amplify that, because a lot of people think that they should be communicating with their guide because their guide should appear in front of them, or their guide should be some voice in their ear or whatnot, you can amplify the communication so that you can have more of a direct engagement with them. I would suggest journaling. That's a really good way of communicating with them. There's actually a really great psychic medium. Her name is Rebecca Rosen, and she's actually out of Denver, I believe. And she wrote a really good book called Spirited, which is one of the first books she wrote. Really, really great book. And in the book, she talks about her process of journaling and how she used to journal questions and then answer them. And then over time, it became a regular routine for her. And in the beginning, it seemed like she was just talking to herself, but over time, it became somewhat of a conversation with a different personality or different higher self or spirits, and then she started to communicate with spirits. You can do the same thing with guides, and this is something that I do with my guide. Actually, I don't really communicate with my guide that way. I communicate with Aja, but you can do the same thing with your guide as well. With my guide, I can just communicate directly and just kind of get that information. But with Aja, my soul, my highest self, I communicate in this way. But just get a journal, dedicated journal book, and I would suggest doing it with pen and paper if you can. If not, if typing is fine, then you can do it as well. But type out a question. What would you like to ask your guide? And then as you type out your question, you will just want to answer it. At first, it's going to feel like you're answering it and it's you communicating, but as you begin to do this on a regular basis, you'll begin to allow yourself to have permission to just let them use you, so you can start to have that more automatic writing experience with them. That's a great way to do it. Another way to do it is to, right before you go to bed, envision a guide in front of you. And if you don't know what they look like or what, whether it's a male or female, just envision someone in front of you. And it just can be an outline. It doesn't have to be a male or female, but envision someone in front of you. And as you begin to drift off to sleep, right before you go to bed, just pretend and imagine that this person's there and just say, hey, I'm here. I would love to have more of a immediate or direct contact with you besides just the process we've already established. If you can make your presence known while I'm asleep, or give me some indicator of you being around, I'd be happy for any signs or any additional communication. And just fall asleep with that vision of this outline of this person. And if you can do that a few nights, several nights in a row, you might luck out and you might be able to get a hold of them. It took me a couple of weeks before I was able to get my guide to communicate with me. Okay, but that's another great technique that you can use not only to communicate with your guide, but also to communicate with your higher self and also with spirits as well. So just FYI. Hello. Hi, how you doing?
I'm really good. Oh my God.
Good. What do you want to ask me?
Oh, okay. So, my dad passed away last year, and my sister. Go ahead.
Don't tell me anymore. Okay. People tend to give away the banquet. So, immediately, first of all, there are 3 males in spirit. Are both your grandfathers also passed?
No.
Okay. There are 3 males in spirit. So I'm going to assume your dad is one of them. There's 2 males above him. So he's acknowledging 2 males above him in age who are with him. He also is acknowledging, thank you. Is there an Alex or an Ali or an A-L sounding name that's connected?
I don't think so. I think we had a family member, I think named Alex, but a husband of a family member. We're Mexican, so we have a lot of family members, so I don't know any of them.
Welcome to the club. Is that person past the Alex?
No, I don't think so.
That's okay. They're acknowledging, so your dad's there. He's acknowledging these 2 males. They're bringing up that Alex name. So one of them might be connected to Alex. Definitely a Cancer connection. Now, what's interesting, I'm seeing it twice. So there's two Cancer connections. So there's a reference to 2 having the Cancer. One of them would have had colon cancer or lower colon cancer. And then the other one would have had an issue with the prostate. So do you know of the 2 males that would have had cancer?
I'm not sure. I know my mom had a cousin who passed away from cancer a couple years ago. But I don't know
That's
exactly
okay.
what
No
them.
worries. That's okay. You'll be able to look back at the video and then you can figure it out. Okay. Dad is also acknowledging thank you. He's referencing the number 4. Do you know if the 4th of a month or March is connected?
It's my boyfriend and our anniversary,
Okay.
actually.
Got it. So he might just be acknowledging your anniversary or wishing you a happy anniversary. He's laughing. Happy anniversary. So I don't know why he's laughing about the relationship with your boyfriend, but he's laughing about the relationship with your boyfriend. But he's saying happy anniversary. He also keeps referencing thank you. He says, what? Something about putting someone's name on a vehicle or changing someone's vehicle into someone else's name. Do you know what? If there's something going on with putting someone's name on a vehicle or changing the name on the vehicle?
Yeah. My sister. So my dad had a car, and my sister kind of claimed it, and she's trying to sell it now without any of our permission.
Got it. He's acknowledging this. What he's doing is he's taking his belt off. So he's not really on board with that. So he's kind of wanting to let her know because he's taking his belt off. So he's just coming across in that way. So he's referencing that. He also keeps referencing that he has visited her in her dreams to communicate with her, and she's misinterpreting the dream. So she might be thinking it's saying one thing when he's actually saying something else altogether. So he's acknowledging that. He also says that he's the one that caused the curtain to move or the wind to go into the bathroom when you were taking a shower. Do you remember feeling like a wind or the curtain moving and like somebody had walked in or opened the door, but nobody had?
Kind of, yeah. I think like the other day I took a shower, and like I always turn off all of the fans because I get cold right after, and it felt like really cold.
Okay, because he's
right after.
Yeah, he said he came to see you when you were taking a shower and he was trying to get your attention. He also keeps acknowledging, he's drawing on my skin. Do you know if someone is planning on getting a tattoo for Dad? Because he's drawing on my skin.
So all of the daughters got tattoos, but I just got like I literally just got like a one of a concert.
Got it.
I have a lot, but
no, that's
couple.
okay. He's just acknowledging the tattoo. So he's just referencing that or acknowledging that. He also talks about 4 or 5 memorial pieces of jewelry. Do you know if there are 4 or 5 memorial pieces of jewelry that are going to be connected to him?
Yeah, he has like 3 or 4 like watches that he's had from his work and his job and just different.
Got it. He's splitting them up and he's giving them out. So he's almost acknowledging that he's okay with them being given out to people because of him. So he's acknowledging that. He's also showing me, thank you. Did y'all release balloons for him? Because he's showing me balloons, and typically that usually means balloons or there's a birthday right now.
No balloons.
Your mom's birthday?
No. Well, this is my mom's birthday month, actually.
Okay, so he's wishing her a happy birthday. So he's acknowledging that for her. He also keeps talking about the 12th. Do you know if the 12th of a month or December is also significant?
No, I don't think so.
He's acknowledging the 12th. So either the month of December, there's something significant in that month besides Christmas. It's another date of significance, or the 12th of a month is connected because he's acknowledging that. There are 2 babies with him in spirit. So he's got 2 children that were miscarried, lost, or terminated, but he's referencing the children in spirit as well. He's also acknowledging, thank you. He's also, do you have an old polo shirt of his or an old shirt of his?
I am literally wearing his old like plaid.
That's it. He's just acknowledging the shirt. So he's just referencing that shirt that he knows that you have his shirt with you. So he's letting you know that he knows that. He says that he loves you. He also says pay attention when you're driving because you may not be paying attention or you may be on your phone too often because he's making fun of that. So he's acknowledging that. He also says he messed with the radio or the music that came on. So he's acknowledging that. So I don't know if you were thinking about a song that and then it came on the radio, but he's acknowledging doing something to get your attention. Okay?
Yeah.
He's with you. He's with you. Okay? All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, how are you
Hi.
doing?
Oh my God, I'm like sitting here having a panic attack. I'm like, how does it work? I'm so sorry.
You made it. It's okay.
Yay!
What did you want to ask me?
I wanted to know if my dad, Greg, has any messages for me or if my spirit guides have any messages for me.
I definitely think you're dead, Dad, Greg, because I was already getting that George or G. It might have been from the last one. Okay, so first of all, your dad is acknowledging. Thank you. Did y'all used to celebrate two birthdays at the same time or two birthdays around the same time because of the date or because of where they happen? Because he's acknowledging like two celebrations at the same time. He just showed me Halloween as well, so it's almost like, oh, someone's birthday party would also be their Halloween party. Is there something like this? Because he's acknowledging something like this.
It could be my grandmother because her birthday is October 23rd.
Okay, so there's an acknowledgement about that. Yeah. You have a lot of people.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Dad is pointing to himself. Okay, got it. When usually means that there's a suicide or they contributed to their passing, but I want to take it as a contributing. Do you know if he contributed to his passing or he may have actually brought about his own condition? Because he's making me feel like he didn't do enough to kind of shift the trajectory of where this is going for him.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't take care of himself the way he should have. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's showing me this. He's also talking about a donor. Do you know they had talked to him that he would probably need a donor or he would probably need a transplant? Okay. Yep.
He was denied.
That. Got it. He's acknowledging that because he's like, when that happened, it kind of made him feel embarrassed and a little ashamed because he felt like, to some extent, he almost felt invincible, you know, like he didn't think would ever happen to him because he had just been doing this for so long. And so it finally came to he's acknowledging that. He also says that, thank you. Do you know if he was also having difficulty urinating or peeing because he's acknowledging that he couldn't pee right or he couldn't go to the bathroom often?
I am not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, because he's also embarrassed or acknowledging or apologizing for soiling himself or having accidents and not telling people or not wanting to say anything.
He probably did. He downplayed a lot when it came to telling me stuff, so it would not surprise me.
Got it. He also is talking about the picture. Is there a picture of him hanging out on the edge of a window, like looking out a window, or because he showed me this picture being like one of his favorites? Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Because he's acknowledging that picture. He also says he's been pulling your hair at night when you're falling asleep. So if you've been feeling weird texts, he said that's him trying to get your attention. He also said he is proud of you because he says you try to make things better for yourself, or you try, and he says that's more than some people can say. He's also talking about this. Do you have a sibling or brother?
Stepbrother.
Okay. Do you not get along, or is there a little bit of a weird... Okay, because he's acknowledging the disconnect with the brother energy. He's also saying that it's okay. You don't have to be like close family. Like he gets it. He understands that. He also said, thank you. Are you in Houston or in Texas? Okay. He's showing me. So what I'm thinking of, because I feel like if I were in Houston, I want to go to Austin, but he's just talking about Austin. So I'm not sure where he's going with that. Is there another smaller town or city closer to you that you've considered moving to or considered like relocating to?
We've been talking about moving. We just don't know where.
Okay. Here's the way he makes me feel. There might be a town that's like not that far away from you. I don't mean town like a little small town. I'm talking about like just a smaller city. But there might be a smaller city that's not that far away from you that might actually be a better option or might be easier to just make it like a move there because he's acknowledging like it's a town over. Like if you're in Texas, Houston, Austin is like maybe 2 hours away. It's not that far away. But wherever you are, it's almost like there might be a smaller city closer to you that might be a viable option for you. He also talks about, thank you. Banana pajamas. Do you have the banana pajamas, or are there like a banana shirt or banana pajamas or some funny thing about it's either bananas or the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck, but it's something about this long like shaped thing that's like a banana or a, you know what I'm thinking about? You remember the bananas and pajamas, like little...
I think I know what you're talking about. The only thing that I can think of right now is like some stupid banana song that my cousin used to sing.
Okay. Would your dad know about that, or would he?
I think he probably would because he was kind of close with my cousin, Mike, so.
Okay, so this might be his way of trying to bring in the cousin or saying hello to the cousin. He also, thank you. Do you have his... I feel like I want to wrap something around my wrist, but I don't think he would have worn this. Do you know if there's something that... Okay, he's just acknowledging that. So he's just bringing it up. He says, he also is apologizing to your mom because he kind of could be difficult or very stubborn. And it was just really hard to deal with. But he's like, she can't speak, she can't talk. She just not want to talk, so he's almost making fun of your mom too. So he's just like messing with her, but also acknowledging to your mom and saying that hello to her, but also apologizing for being such a pain in the butt. But he is letting you know that he loves you. I'm smelling smoke.
you.
Are you a smoker as well? Because I'm smelling smoke.
Yeah. And I'm a smoker.
Well, you're a vapor, right? You're a vapor?
Both, actually, because I use cannabis.
Ah, got it. Yeah. He's just acknowledging, being careful and being cautious and just trying to take care of yourself. Because he doesn't want
I'm actually quitting tomorrow. I'm starting patches tomorrow.
That's it. So he's just letting you know that he wants you to like take care of yourself and not, don't be like him is what he's saying. Don't be like me.
Yeah. That's why I want to quit. Thank you so much. Bless you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. I think I'm going to do one more. I have enough time for one more, and then I think I'm going to call it a night. And then we're going to do our study group because we got our study group coming up. So let's see who wants to... Annie. Let's do Annie. Let's see. Hello.
Ferny!
How you doing, sweetheart?
Oh, I'm so much better now for seeing you.
Awesome. What did you want to ask me?
Well, I always want to know how my daughter is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But also I'm trying to sell my house, and I wonder if we see it happening soon.
Yeah, 2 months. So I think it'll take you about 2 months to sell it. I also think that the first offer might be a lowball offer, and I feel like it's just them testing you to see how low that you're willing to go. You kind of need to stick as close to the like what you actually want as possible. You may have to come down a bit though. I almost feel like you might have to come down maybe 15 or 20,000. So
yeah, I did. I just lowered the price today.
Okay, cool. So I think that, yeah, it's 2 months. Give it 2 months and I think you'll be done. I almost feel like you might be closing before Christmas. So I think you're going to be done before the holidays come in. Okay.
That's my goal.
Your daughter, she keeps showing me a luck charm. Do you have like a 4-leaf clover or some sort of like Irish like symbol or good luck charm that's connected to her?
Oh, that's her deal. Yeah. 4-leaf clover.
Got it. Because she's acknowledging that. She also keeps referencing, thank you. It's going to sound, was she ever in dance or any kind of performance in school? Because she's almost like wanting to like, she's like acting like your cheerleader. So do you know if she was ever in dance or did anything like that?
No, not dancing.
It's weird because she's acting like your cheerleader. So she's almost like cheering you on or acting like your cheerleader. So
well, I need that.
Okay.
Need that.
No, there's more to it. There's more to it. I'm seeing a plaid skirt and I'm trying to figure out where she's going with this because the only time I think of plaid skirts is if someone's a cheerleader or they were in private school. Is there something about...
She was in private school.
Okay, got it. That's it. Okay. So she's acknowledging the plaid. So I'm assuming you have pictures of her when she was in private school and she...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she's acknowledging that. She said, Mom, she said the time in private school made up for all of the naughty things that I did. So it helped me get into heaven. So she's making a joke about it.
Oh, that's good.
Into heaven, so she's laughing about that. Do you also, thank you, do you have a lock of her hair or is there
I do.
Yeah, she knows that you have a lock of her hair, so she's acknowledging that. Thank you. Were you thinking about getting like a piece of jewelry or something that you could put the hair in that's like clear?
I did that.
Got it. She's acknowledging
I have a lock of hair in a special box that says "Forget Me Not." It's a vintage box, and then I put a lock of her hair in a clear locket from my sister, her aunt.
Perfect.
So, and it was lovely.
Yeah, so she's acknowledging this. She's referencing that as well. Is there she's trying to give me a name. I feel like it's an H name. It feels it. To some extent, I feel like it sounds like a male's name, but it's a female's name. Is there like a Heidi or Haley or Hannah? Is there an H female name connection?
Well, she had a real good friend named Haley. Okay.
She's probably just trying to say hello to her friend and acknowledge her friend Haley. Do you know if they did something where they did like a get together around a fire pit or some sort of like a fire?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, she's acknowledging whatever they did, and almost like they may have said like things about her around it, almost like honoring her in this way. So she's acknowledging that as well. I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. Do you still smell her clothes?
I don't have any clothes, but I have her perfume.
Okay, because I feel like I'm smelling her scent. That makes sense. Because I was going to say there was a scent you could smell, but then I wanted to go to clothes. She's just acknowledging smelling her or smelling that scent. So she's referencing.
I spray it on her puppy. on
Ah,
special occasions.
got it. So, well, she's acknowledging the smell. She's also, thank you. Is there also? I know you talked about a puppy, but is there another? Is there another dog that's like a poodle or like a poodle mix?
No, it's a Chihuahua.
No, no. There's another dog. She's referencing another dog. So there's something about another dog. What I'm seeing is the Labradoodles. That's what I'm seeing. So do you know there's something about a Labradoodle or a poodle that's like a Labrador and poodle mix?
Not that I know of.
Okay, she's acknowledging an animal. That there's an animal there with her. That's a Labradoodle that
Oh.
looks like this, and it's white. It's a white Labradoodle. Might be a creamy color, but I think it's white. Someone that connected to her just had to put this dog down, or may have lost this dog. She wants to let this person know that the dog is there. She also, yeah.
Oh, her my friend who lost her little white poodle dog is coming to
Oh.
see me tomorrow.
Got it. Okay, then that may be what she's talking about. She might, because I've never actually interacted with a poodle. I've only interacted with Labradoodles. That may have been the way she was trying to get me to talk about
And
this.
it was white too.
That's it. So she's probably just trying to tell your friend tomorrow when you talk to her that the poodle's there with her and that she
Oh,
doesn't
how
need to worry
sweet.
about it. Yeah.
And she did know that dog too. So.
Yeah. Also, is there an Annabelle or Annabeth or Annie Beth or Annabella name?
Annie, that's me.
Oh, you're Annie. Okay. So she's acknowledging your name. She's repeating it. Is there another Annie in the family? Because she's referencing the other one above you. This would have been a great grandmother.
Oh, well, I was named after my parents' favorite aunt.
Oh.
So, Aunt Annie.
Got it. And Annie is around you, and she comes around you, and she just says that, she's been keeping up with you as well.
That's sweet. How wonderful.
All right, sweetheart. I'm sending you
Thank
love.
you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Love you, Fernie. You're wonderful.
Oh, thank you.